Okay, time for a new video. Welcome back to my channel, or hello if you're new. This is yet another Eurovision 2026 related video here on my channel, and today I'm going to be talking a little bit about all of the first rehearsals of the semi-final 2 participants involved in this year's upcoming edition of the ESC, which, as we all know, will take place in Vienna next week. As always, you're welcome to let me know your thoughts on anything I discuss in today's video by leaving a comment down below, and as always, there are links in the description to my other social media pages. Check them out if you so wish. I did film a recent video for my channel regarding the first rehearsals of the semi-final 1 participants, but now it is time to turn my attention to next Thursday's second semi-final, where once again 15 countries will be involved. They'll all vote alongside 3 of the automatic qualifiers, the rest of the world, and let's not forget the juries are back also. I have some notes in front of me taken from the official Eurovision Reddit page. I'll be going through those in just a moment, and I also have loaded up the official Eurovision Instagram page where some photos of the rehearsals have been posted. As I speak to you now, some footage is also being released from the rehearsals in Vienna. It is my intention fairly soon to go through all of those and discuss what I'm seeing and hearing, and film that video at some point within the next couple of days. But for now, semi-final 2, and we begin with the returning Bulgaria and Bangaranga by Dara. The photos aren't really giving much away here, it has to be said, but on Reddit it says the opening sequence of the staging brings to mind 2 iconic Eurovision performances from recent years, Cha 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 and Dizzy, but that's mainly in a what on earth is going on with those dancers kind of way. They've gone Bangaranga berserk. It can all be explained by the ancient Bulgarian kukeri tradition that the song is inspired by, the act of driving away evil spirits and cleansing dark energy. And when you see the faces and movements of these dancers, you'll understand why anything had to be done. Dara is wearing a black skirt, black belt and black knee-high boots with a short pink top and elbow-length pink gloves. The dancers are dressed far more casually. One is wearing a white vest with a long tie, another one is in a pair of dark trousers. The 2 colours of Dara's outfit are brought together via a fur trim, which appears on both the belt and the gloves. As the intensity of the home setting builds, Dara breaks free, leading her dancers out with her on the catwalk. There's more witchcraft to come. The next part of the song, which apparently has been musically revamped for some reason, is an explosive display that signifies the darkness being expelled, in which the choreography switches lanes and reveals more synced formations. So there we go. In this first photograph, Dara is there with her dancers. They're all sitting on red plastic chairs by the looks of it, with this huge panel of wood behind them. It's going to be very interesting to see how this all comes across live, because clearly they're trying to create some sort of setting, an atmosphere on stage very different from what we had at the Bulgarian national final. This is a good thing, because that performance, it was maybe a little bit messy, there wasn't really a great deal of cohesion, certainly there was no prop that I remember, so they're definitely trying something different here. It might work, it might not, there's definitely going to be some frantic choreography. Other than that, we don't know much at all, but at this moment in time, I am saying this is a qualifier. We move on to Azerbaijan, song 2 next Thursday, Jiva Just Go. It says here she emerges from a cloud of smoke. Billowing fabric is the main prop of this performance. There's plenty of it. Jiva performs her love song of lament. She's wearing an exquisite gown. Sequins of black, red and blue shimmer throughout her performance, all while black and white footage of her broken relationship plays out on the screen behind her. She's truly bearing her soul to the fans. In the final act, the man behind the misery dares to show his face, joining Jiva on stage for a make-or-break heart-to-heart. It clearly doesn't end well, as we witness her finally break free from what has been holding her back. She marches triumphantly down the stage away from him. So I have to say, I do like the look of her outfit, very striking indeed. And in this wide shot, there does appear to be this large piece of billowing fabric. And then the guy, who is dressed all in black, is holding 2 long ribbons that are attached to Jiva's back, almost as if he's dragging her along somehow, something like that. That does look a little bit awkward, and I don't know whether this is true or not. Surely we would know by now. But one or two people online have suggested, because of the outfit she's wearing, we're actually going to get the rockier version of this song, more so than the ballad that we are all very much familiar with. I don't think that's going to be the case, but you never know. Anyway, this doesn't look too bad. It's just a shame that the song is really lackluster and, in my opinion, almost certainly going to finish last next week. Moving on to Romania. Now, yes, we've only got photos of these semi-final 2 first rehearsals thus far, but this is getting a lot of fans very excited, and I have to say I'm very intrigued by what I'm seeing as well. Romania returning with Alexandra Capitanescu and Choke Me. The Reddit page says this is someone who is confident in front of the camera. The staging starts via the representation of a sharp intake of breath. There's a hell of a lot of energy. There are 6 people on stage, our camera-confident singer, her 4-member band, and a special 6th presence who shall remain nameless for now. The performance is electrifying, even without the constant stream of electrical current coursing through the stage from glowing tubes. Alexandra is wearing protective black leather, a corset with a collar and shoulders, plus strappy extensions coiled around her arms. She's also wearing knee-high black leather boots. In the photos, which are very striking indeed, she has these tubes either side of her body with white light flowing through them, and you've got dancers, all in black, holding instruments, holding guitars, and the power from the electric guitars is coursing through these tubes into Alexandra, powering her, if you see what I mean. It's a very striking image, and I've not really seen anything like this on the Eurovision stage before. In this photo here, the third one, she's sitting down on what looks to be some sort of block. It's all quite gothic, very mysterious, very dark, really, really looking excellent, and hopefully it sounds excellent too. A good job, no doubt about it. Moving on to Luxembourg, I have to say this is looking really like an NQ at this moment in time, even though the song is perfectly fine. Ave Maria, Mother Nature. It says here, the venue has been turned into a hotbed of life. Nature's elements are flowering all around her. The butterflies, the birds, and the blossoming buds, they're all encouraged to life by Ava. She's dressed in suitably earthy tones. Gone are the visible trousers, though. She's wearing a floaty layered gown that gives her an ethereal appearance. She runs around the stage a lot, covering much of it, and this is a dress that's made for movement. Honestly, I just don't think this is going to stand out that much. So there she is. She's wearing what looks to be quite a heavy dress in a rather bland colour, but she's got the hair flowing down. On the backdrop, you've got some green foliage, butterflies it looks like there. Yeah, it's very whimsical, it's very sweet, we know this, but out of all of the photographs for the semi-final 2 participants thus far, this is one that's really towards the bottom of the pile for me, I have to say. I'm sure the violin will be there at some point, and maybe when we see a snippet of the rehearsal, it's going to look and sound really nice indeed. But this is a strong, fairly competitive semi-final. We all know that. This is going to slip through the net, in my opinion. Moving on to Czechia. Yeah, this is looking very fine, I have to say. Daniel Ziska with Crossroads, of course. It says here there's a whole 4-piece prop made up of multiple mirrors, and there's a lot of visual effects within the 3-minute masterpiece. They just keep coming at you. It's like a lesson in light and camera trickery. The strongest element of this rehearsal was his voice. We know he has a sensational set of pipes on him, and I think he might blow people away next Thursday and next Saturday, because I do expect this to go through, because of his voice. Absolutely. In the rehearsal, he was wearing a light baby blue shirt and baby blue coloured trousers. However, there are other outfits that he may trial moving forwards. The closing 10 seconds in particular are awe-inspiring. So there he is. It looks like he's wearing pyjamas, barefoot, mirrors all around him. This is going to be a very intimate performance, which I think opens up over the course of the 3 minutes, and it's going to play around with light and shadows. This is coming for a very good jury score at the very least. I'm interested in seeing the whole thing next week, absolutely. Moving on to Switzerland. Now, this is a very interesting one indeed. I think Armenia are before Switzerland, but nevertheless we'll focus on Switzerland now. Veronica Fusaro with Alice. So her microphone takes the form of a rope, and it's the singer at one end and the cameraman on the other. 4 female dancers draped in blood-red rope, leading her, that's Veronica, to a giant prop that has been rolled onto the stage. It's a cube-shaped climbing frame acting as prison bars. The ropes then act as the bars of the prison. The red rope netting symbolises the hold that domestic violence victims are kept in by their abusers. At the end, she breaks out her guitar, falling to her knees and spelling out Alice's name in red rope. She's wearing rhinestones all over her cropped military jacket / black trouser suit, and these rhinestones run down the side of her legs as well, and there's also some feather-trimmed shoulders. Now, I have to say, I was expecting something very, very different here. I was expecting something with rather minimal lighting, quite a moody atmosphere. We are sort of getting that. I'm liking the red rope and the effect on the screen behind Veronica and her troupe. I'm liking the green lighting as well. And yeah, it's just not what I expected at all, because it's almost as if the song, which I'm thinking of now in my own head, and the staging which I'm looking at here don't match. So I am very intrigued to see how this whole thing is going to come together. I really didn't expect something like this at all, but certainly it looks really quite interesting, no doubt about it. At this moment in time, I am torn as to whether Switzerland are going to be a qualifier or not. The juries, though, might well adore it. Then we move on to Armenia, and I think this can be summed up in 2 words. One is mess, the other one is hot. This is looking like a hot mess. It's Simon, with Paloma Rumba, so we know that this is a very energetic, raucous, lively tune. And they are trying to recreate the music video on stage here. He starts off being hung upside down by his colleagues and ends in a victory pose on top of them. Our hyperactive hero at one point even takes the camera into his own hands. This is how enthusiastic he is to share his message with audiences watching at home. There's an outfit reveal where he's wearing flimsy fabric, and that's all it really says here. But if we take a look at the photos, yes, he is wearing blue trousers, white trainers. His dancers somewhat similarly dressed. One of them has very vibrant yellow hair, and yeah, you've got all of these symbols on the screen behind them, more yellow lighting, and then, yeah, he's wearing this sort of skin-tight, see-through top, and, yeah, it's all a little bit similar to what Armenia were bringing to the table last year, truth be told. But anyway, that is Paloma Rumba. Very lively, may well go through. Even if the juries don't like it, the public probably will. Then we move on to Cyprus. So this is Antigone, however you pronounce it, I'm not entirely sure, my apologies, with Jala. This is a huge fan favourite, has fared well in a few pre-contest polls, very likely to go through. Let's see what it says here. There's a table on stage, there's room for 4 dancers on it to get up there with her. They use it as a catwalk, the choreography is stunning. There is a table runner made of an LED strip, which assists in creating arguably the most visually stunning part of the performance. And there's fire and pyro, I think. Not entirely sure. She's dressed in a short, white, beaded Aphrodite dress, looking like she's all set up for a Nicosia night out in July. The song is performed in front of a backdrop that features giant ancient pillars lit in blue. Yeah, she looks really fabulous here, and this image in the middle with the orange lights behind her, and she's standing there all powerful in silhouette, that's very much straight out of the Fuego by Eleni Ferreira songbook, if you see what I mean. We do have flames all around her in this particular image as well. The dancers are dressed in ragged white attire. yeah, they're all having a good time, smiles on their faces. It's going to be a fun, saucy time, and I don't think there's any situation in which this doesn't go through, truth be told. However, will the vocals be bang on the money? We then move on to Latvia. This is Atvara with Enna, one of the finest singers this year, and really what we have here is exactly the same as what we had at Supernova several months ago. Not much else has changed. The gems sewn onto her dress have multiplied, with many of them now spreading further down the side to her waist and almost covering her left arm. There's more glass, that on-screen effect. That is all there is to say about this. She looks great. There's that shadow of her behind her. I think it's a slanted platform. I'm not entirely sure. It's clearly going to be quite emotionally charged. There's not going to be much going on in the way of lighting or anything particularly, invigorating, shall we say. This is a real moment of calm and reflection in this semi-final. It may go through, however, at this moment in time, it's an NQ in my opinion. But yes, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. We then move on to Denmark, one of the big favourites this year. Sorgentoppegard Lund with Før vi går hjem, Before We Go Home. This is also very similar to what we had at the national final DMGP several weeks ago, but elevated ever so slightly. He is wearing black leather trousers topped with an aquamarine shirt, and then that disappears and he's wearing a sparkly black mesh top underneath. The box is on stage with red tube lights that intensify as the staging progresses. Things look really hot by the time the second chorus rolls around. And then a storm engulfs the stage floor and the screen behind him, and the graphics transform into a blazing fire for the final 20 seconds. His dances and vocals at the same time are already the stuff of legend, apparently. This is looking really great. It's going to be a very sweaty performance, that's for sure. And yeah, the box, quite effective. Reminds me a little bit of Shady Lady for Ukraine, almost 20 years ago. And then this shot here, which is from the final 20 seconds or so, with the orange sparks and the fire and the very slick choreography. Yeah, it's going to be a fantastic performance, I'm sure. No complaints from me. Cruising through. Then we have Australia, another big favourite this year. It is Delta Goodrem with Eclipse, one of the finest singers in the competition. There's a lot of sparkle here, from the mic stand to the graphics on the stage floor and the screen. Apparently, her custom gown is adorned with approximately 7,000 Swarovski crystals, paying homage to Vienna's signature sparkle. Around 500 hours of work went into crafting this chiffon beauty. I believe there is, and I'll take a look at the images again in just a moment, a side-on... That's not the right phrase, but you know what I mean if you've seen the photos. There's a crescent moon on stage. Very Nathan Trent, Austria 2017. She's a classically trained pianist. I believe there is a piano on stage. And that's all there really is to say about it. She looks great. It's very classy. There you see it. She is sort of framed by this structure. There's a smoke machine, this white light beaming behind her, fabric draping down from both of her arms. And yeah, sort of as I expected. This first image shows her framed by a harp. That's what it looks like. So, yeah. It's looking pretty good. We know it's going to sound great. We'll just have to wait for the rehearsal footage now to see if this really is going to be a massive contender next weekend. Then we move on to Ukraine. This is Leleka with Rydnim. She begins by presenting herself. That doesn't really make any sense. The artist's staging begins by presenting her with a white catwalk to walk across. And she's walking towards Yaroslav Zhush, who is accompanying her on the bandura. It's a nod to Ukrainian culture, apparently, so there you go. After the first chorus, the staging goes dark. Leleka takes centre stage, and then during the next act, we get to see a very special moment while the artist is delivering her show-stopping note. She's wearing a white dress over white trousers with small strands of fabric laid and attached in a way that responds well to her movements. Fabric plays a big role in the artist's story here. And at the end, the staging and the visuals go red like the closing of a theatre curtain. So yes, there she is on stage in the spotlight, and you've got these huge plumes of fabric sort of billowing up around her in this particular shot, the last image on the Instagram page. There's really very little else to say about this. It's not one of my favourite songs this year, but Ukraine are going to do quite well, and vocally I'm sure this is going to be bang on the money. Can't really say much more than that. Moving on to Albania, there's barely anything to say about this one as well. It's Alice with Nan. He's dressed in black with a shimmering gem finish, joined by a cast of many via the graphics being played out behind him. A crowd of women, some wearing traditional attire, are representing the mothers of Albania, waiting for their sons to return home. There are English subtitles, I believe, throughout. There are elements of the performance that provide enhancements to the storytelling, but those will remain shrouded in mystery for now. And yeah, this is going to be very atmospheric, very powerful, very stirring. We know that this guy can really sing. There's a bit of smoke in this particular image. Very, very stripped back, letting those vocals shine through. Clearly they are holding back. There will be a surprise or two. We'll just have to wait and see what those surprises will be. Everybody, I think, is expecting Albania to go through. I'm expecting Albania to go through. Not one of my big favourites, but my word, can that guy sing. Then we have Malta. Massive prop here. This is Aiden with Bella. There is a huge light-up arched structure on stage in the form of a huge zoetrope, with shots from above showing us the Bella subject of the song dancing around our performer. It's here that we also get the tornado, you'll remember the national final performance, of rose petals that is now synonymous with this track. It's an idea that's been reimagined slightly from the national final performance and enhanced by the incredible work of a Steadicam. Aiden is wearing Versace and cowboy boots, and that is really all about it. The final minute of the performance is all one shot, with Aiden at one point giving the illusion of partaking in a romantic dance with the viewers. The trickery that's been engineered into the construction means that Aiden is rotating at a thrilling speed. There's not a whole lot of colour to this performance, but of course there will be because of that rose petal effect. So yes, he is in the middle of this light-up arched structure, which will probably take an age to put together on stage. I don't know. Yes, this is a contender to go through, absolutely. I believe as I speak to you now, it's in the top 10 of the betting odds to win the whole contest, which is really quite something. I'm not sure the public score is going to be that high, but the juries might see this and listen to it and absolutely gush over it. We will wait and see. That leaves Norway. This is closing the second semi-final next Thursday. I don't really know why, but fair enough. This is Jonas Love with Ya Ya Ya. This is almost identical to what we had at MGP several weeks ago. He's flashing his tattoos, that's for sure. If you saw the national final performance, then this performance next week won't hold too many surprises. A huge row of red lights is lowered and hired throughout to maximise the view of what's unfolding on stage. There are strobe lights, a stage drenched in red, and in the final 20 seconds he is pointing and posturing among the pyro, ending the performance in a triumphant pose in which the light behind paints him as a revered rock god. This guy can also really sing. That is arguably the strength of this track. We have Ya 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 on the screen behind him in red and white capital letters. There's a bit of smoke, that'll be the pyro I'm sure, red lighting throughout. And yeah, there is a swagger to this performer, there is a charisma to this performer. And yeah, I've seen some people online say that the juries are going to go big for this one. I'm not convinced yet. I'm not sure the public score is going to be that enormous, that's for sure. However, he's closing this show and he can really sing, and it's not a bad song. It's a tough semi-final to get out of. We'll wait and see what happens next week. Anyway, that's all there really is to say. I would say, based on the photos alone, I'm intrigued by Bulgaria. Romania is looking great. Very interested to see and hear Czechia and Switzerland. Armenia could be a real mess or it could be really tight. Cyprus, that looks like it's going to be a fun time. Denmark looking slick. Albania, highly atmospheric. It is looking stronger than semi-final 1 in my opinion. But anyway, I will leave it there. Let me know your thoughts on these semi-final 2 first rehearsals, and I will be back at some point fairly soon, all being well, to discuss the footage of the semi-final 1 and semi-final 2 rehearsals. That video may well surface at some point in the next couple of days, and then before you know it, the contest will be upon us. Hopefully this video turned out okay. Until next time, take care of yourselves, stay safe, and bye for now.